Find the power cord. We're back with the advanced portion of this series. Again, I'm Karius Hutzelman. I hail from Sonagua, to be more specific, Canali, and I have been on Between Two Peers as part of the tech team, half of the tech team, and done several broadcasts of my own while I do arts and crafts, peanut butter popcorn, yeah, that kind of thing. Um, this is going to cover broadcasting with two cameras, zooming in on a specific thing that you're working on. It's going to cover some advanced overlays and advanced images used in broadcasting, and then splitting up your screen with specific within Streamlabs, so you can have specific parts of the screen that are always doing one thing. So let's jump into multiple cameras. Usually you have somebody that does this for you, right? But we're not there. So let's go down back to our scene for how to. Can I get a confirmation that you could see my interface?
Yes, I see your mouse moving around.
Okay, awesome. So now we're back here in the original part. This is going to assume that you know the basics of OBS, so I won't cover those. But we're going to use what we built on previously. I've since added a camera, but you can't see this off screen. But you can see the other camera that I've added. I've added two. One of them is missing its power cord. I couldn't find it within the 15 minutes. But we will muddle on with it. So I'm creating a new camera. That name is already in use. Fine. Be that way. So I'm adding that here to this specific scene, and this is the scene for how to. So it pays to keep track of all your scenes. Now, does this camera actually work? I don't know. Google thought it had something to say. It's not appearing. So do I want to hide this one and see if that other one shows up? Come on, work for me here. Transform, reset. Nothing weird about it. Do I have filters on it? I do not. Great. So we'll go back to, oh, we're in infinity and beyond. That camera is not coming on for some reason. Plugged into the camera. I'll unplug and replug it into the computer. Simplest troubleshooting steps.
All stuff we actually need to know.
Yeah. Right now I'm resizing displays, inputs. It should work. All right. Well, a thing I can do, I won't necessarily have to restart. I'll come back over here to Zoom and I'll change video. Oh, I wasn't on OBS virtual camera. How dare I? Oh, screen sharing and not sharing OBS. But that doesn't mean anything to this camera that I just connected. Whoa. I just crashed the whole thing. Did you see that?
It's not my fault. I didn't do it.
I saw you tinkering around over there.
Uh-huh.
Bring it back. It shows just the generic OBS logo now in lieu of my camera.
Oops.
Opening. Yeah. Now we're back. Start virtual camera. It's not showing the Dell camera. for some reason. And big in that. There we go. Oh wow, I'm zoomed in, aren't I? Reset
Just a
turn.
little bit.
You can see the shine off the top of my head. Here's a couple of tips when resizing or you're reframing. There's two different ways. You could grab a corner and scale it up. I hope that's showing through the sharing. Grab a corner, scale it up. Or what I call reframing, you can hit Alt, and now you're taking part of the video away. So we're just going to get my noggin. Now I can put that up in the corner and I can add other things down there. I would add that Dell camera if it's working. I don't know why. I can tinker with some cables here. If it all goes away, you know, I'll blow it up. But in spectacular fashion. Change what port the camera's plugged into. No joy. No, it's not on yet. Well, I crashed it again. Fun. I can turn on the computer I used when I was streaming with between two peers, but it's a bit of a start virtual camera scene. Does that Dell actually work? No. It's not letting me manage that. I'd be surprised if that actually works. Where is she? No, doesn't look like 60 frames per second. Okay, briefly we'll go over resolution, frame rate, what the that's in the front room. That's my iPhone. So let's add that and show it and bring in this. And then we'll bring this over here. Unlock it first so you can move it. Dirt. Okay. Unlock it again. Lock that. And then I will return. It'll be Hollywood magic. Now I'm using my phone to do camera twinning. Okay. So I don't actually have a mount for this in here. But as you can see, it's using my iPhone. Because they're both Apple products, they link together like that. So that's a little bit of a bonus for using for the fruit. But you could just as easily zoom in on a specific thing if you had a mount to hold it. Of course, that's what I wanted to do with the Dell. I wanted to zoom in on the camera that was zooming in on the thing, but we couldn't do that for some reason. Let's switch that to, yeah, come on, work. Don't know if it's cable or I could plug it directly into the machine. That might be best. This camera is a bit touchy. It is the sharpest webcam on the market as of 4 or 5 months ago. It's the WB7022. Kind of amazing when it works. Use presets. Okay. Okay, no. No love. Well, that's disappointing. So let's go back to this and I can go give you a rundown on the equipment. Now it's not going to appear, right? Because that was just too easy. Oh, I crashed it again. Maybe something wrong with my install. Come on. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Back to. Huh. My iPhone's not showing up again. Well, that's disappointing. So let's do it the old fashioned way. So, what I have here, you can even see it, is a struggle to get to where you can see this stuff. Okay. Um, so I have a Canon M50. This is a mirrorless camera, meaning it doesn't have a shutter per se that's mechanical that uses the reflection of a mirror. It has a solid sensor, just like your webcam, your phone camera. Uh, and I read quite a few articles on what cameras were the best for doing zoomed in work. I missed this thing. I had the power cord to it because it's dead. But I haven't been set up to do all of this broadcasting lately, so you'll have to forgive my laxity. I have it on an arm, and the camera itself has a pretty good default lens, and it does a pretty good job on zooming in. So I'd already started trying to get the other camera in here. Um, Still not seeing the iPhone. Still not seeing the Dell defaults. Dell webcam. Go. He's killing me. Killing me, Smalls. Uh, this webcam is there. It looks like one of the old iSight cameras from the old original Apple days when webcams first came out. It was just as expensive as an iSight camera, about $225. But I wanted something that I could. Let's see, you're not seeing that over there. Boop. As you can see, I've got it sitting here on another stand. These things are cheap. This one is a pretty cheap one. It's probably like $15 off Amazon because it doesn't have to hold much of a load. So this camera weighs all of maybe 500, 600 grams. And it does just fine on one of these articulating arms. This beast, though, has quite the setup. Uh, this used to be over my desk at the old house, and I had it screwed in with that mount. It's got a screw on the inside there that I would screw it to a piece of wood, and it was stable. Uses this inch and quarter pipe as its gantry, and it has these uh, pressure lock adjustable uh, locks that allow you to maneuver this. Because this camera is an actual camera, not a webcam or a um, iPhone, it's considerably heavier. You can watch it sag as I let go of it. So adding two cameras is not super difficult. Get that out of the way. In OBS, not too big of a deal. You saw how the iPhone camera seemed to just jump right in there when I wanted it to. I don't know how to get that back either. Hope and pray, maybe. Just add it here. View capture. Not seeing the iPhone again. Oh well. Yeah, no love there either. So sorry for my technological failures. Yes, it happens even to technomancers. Let's go ahead and cover just having two cameras work. Let's go back to scene for how to enable my generic video camera. Oh my goodness, it's huge. Unlock it. Is it unlocked? No. There we go. Now, what I was saying about scaling, you could free scale. I mean, not free scale, but lock scale, meaning that it maintains the proportion. Or using shift, you can free scale to make it look weird. Man, I've got a really tall head now. Again, there's always the fix is always a reset transform away back to normal. And then you can lock in these frames to reduce specific parts, to eliminate some of the stuff. When I'm doing whatnot, I usually have it in this format. There we go. Now it's just locked on my head. And then the other camera would be broadcasting the thing that I'm selling. So we put that over here. We can pretend. What am I clicking on there? Generic video P, screen capture. Okay, that's what that is. So we could pretend that the screen capture is a camera. Let's give it the other screen. I'm going to change which screen monitor it's using. There we go. Again, we want to, let's eliminate some of those edges. Bring them more into line. If you're demonstrating a specific craft and skill and you have the camera top down right here, you would have some room down here for your name and information. Let's add text. Well, actually, let's do a little bit more advanced. Let's add color source. No. Scene siphon. Let's do text. We're going to call it contact info. Okay. Right now it's just text, but we want to give it a box, outline, drop shadow. I do not have chat log. Anti-aliasing is great. I think I spelled that correctly. Now we don't like that font. It's a little bit bleh. Just going to move into colors first. We want to change the font. Helvetica. Okay. But don't have a Noto be fine. That's a little bit fancier. Now, let's give it a splash of color. Let's get annoying with the 90s. Oh, that's very obnoxious. Now, let's take, okay, so I'm going to have to go into transform for that. So I've set the basic part. Now I want to reduce the size. So I want to go transform and center the screen, transform, And where is my scale? Ah, that doesn't have a scale. So we could probably do this, get away with it. There we go. I want to bring it down a little bit more. I don't know what that noise is, but it's annoying. So now you can see we're setting up an actual scene. That's my name. That's my location. I want to add another one. I'm going to call it social. Give it the OK. Text at tech. Then I don't even remember what my Instagram handle is. I never Instagram myself. Oh yeah, okay. At Quote Quills and Big Thrills. Okay. We're gonna resize that and then we're gonna adjust fonts. Ah, what are you doing? Undo, Control Z. Bring it in. As you can see, these are all stacking on top of each other. If you have something that you want to stack under, or you want to be overlaid on top of it, you can grab this guy, just drag it down there, and now this sits on top of that. Fun stuff, huh? So, let's change this to a pleasing color. With that violet there. And then we'll go with the violet also. Now that stands out really well. And it's cheese ball and quickly thrown together, but it does the work. This is the camera that's showing top down from overhead, showing the work that you're doing. This is the camera showing your face. And you've got contact info up there. So, I mean, it looks pretty basic, but there was a lot that we had to get through to just get to that point. So the concept of having those different areas is the same in Streamlabs, but Streamlabs takes it a step further. Now I will bring over, we're going to switch scenes. Oh, wasn't that a great transition? We covered that in the previous one. Unlock me. Click on me. Unlock me, thank you. Make me bigger. Lock it again. Now there's that. We're sharing screen through Zoom, so we can bring up Streamlabs. Go big, big, big. I think. Yes, big. Thank you. All right. So in Streamlab, you have much of the same controls. It's a different look. I have the same scenes from my OBS. So if you've already set up scenes in OBS, they'll be here. But what Streamlabs adds is themes. If it connects, it's not. For some reason. Oh, there we go. So let's just pick one at random. Install that theme. Does it cost me stuff? Oh, it's only for Ultra. Well, let's see if it does install. Oh, it wants me to select an Ultra plan. Fortunately, I don't stream enough that I need an Ultra plan. That Ultra only, yeah.
I wonder if red versus blue is still available.
Probably. Man, my internet is slow. I'm on backup Musknet right now. rather than my fast Xfinity. Let's see. Not seeing. Maybe slow. Just
There's
wanted
always
one.
the old faithful of Snake.
Yeah, they all want me to use the Ultra to install the themes, so we're gonna have to skip themes because I'm not gonna add them. Widgets. So much like on your phone, uh, your phone desktop, you can have widgets that hover in place that perform specific things. This would show when a new subscriber came in what their name was, probably scroll their name and their handle and their any socials they had attached to it. This would scroll the new followers, and this would pop up with money every time somebody donated. So this is a widget just for a specific thing. Again, it is more no, don't go over there. Oh, okay. I just wanted a regular dashboard. I may have to do Ultra just so I can get through this. Let's go to the editor, the layout editor. Okay, again, that looked very familiar, right? It looked just like our previous OBS. That's because it relies on OBS as the core. But then you add layouts to the mix. So this is a layout specifically for your control seat or your control pane, just like this. This is static. They don't really let you change all that much about it. But when you're using Streamlabs, or they call it slobs, so it's Streamlabs OBS. When you're using slobs, you can modify the way that your control center looks. Control center is always open, as you can see here with OBS. You can move it from monitor to monitor. If you don't have two monitors, then that's the thing I suggest you rectify. Because streaming with just one monitor is not easy. There's the classic, scene selector and mini feed. This allows you to add lots and lots and lots of stuff to it.
Unused TVs make great second monitors.
They do. They do indeed. If you don't need high resolution on that second monitor, you want it just as a monitor, be monitoring stuff, then yes, you can use an unused TV or heck, I think I've ported through DB15 out to composite into a regular old TV. So you could do it on a budget. For you youngsters out there, TVs didn't used to have HDMI; they used to have composite. Don't feel bad. I'll feel old for you. Um, this adds extra apps. Let's go out to the editor. Let's say I'm going to have to switch over, and I don't want to do that. I want to stay in OBS. I actually prefer straight OBS to slobs for the simple fact that I don't get too fancy with overlays. There's my overlay. There's a Spite Sprinkles donut. I don't get too fancy with them. I usually have a frame around it so you don't have this boring corner box here. What you can do with OBS, you can do with SLOBS, and what you can do with slobs, you don't have themes and you don't have it. Slobs enables people that aren't technically minded to just jump in, pay $4.99 a month, and have this overlay for your stream. If you don't like tinkering with technology, that's what it's there for. And it has some enhanced stuff for streamers. Like if on Twitch you've got a donation button, then you saw previously that it had a donation button widget. but most of the technical things that you could do to stream, you could do here in OBS. Let's talk about filters because it was a noticeable difference when Araya had an extra hour before our we went live to walk her through adding filters. Um, Filters are on properties of the video capture. Turn me into a liar. Love it. Filters right above properties. Thank you. So you have effect filters and audio and video filters. We're not going to do audio and video filters because they would be advanced 3. Let's apply an LUT, a LUT. Don't get me to line about what LUT stands for. Light user transition, something like that. I just have to find my LUTs now. That's going to be in desktop sort. You should really sort these one day. Fortunately, it's a computer I use for work, so not too much inappropriate things on here, but
Can you use the search feature?
I would, but then that might show inappropriate things. But here we are. We're at LUTs. So I've got a collection of LUTs. Be glad to share them with you over Google Drive if you request it. But they are color. Oh man, they're all not downloaded. Let's download them. Wait on my not so great internet. Um, they do color filtering. So much like the filters that you use on Instagram to get that grainy effect or to get that golden hour of the day effect, you can use these, but it will apply it to real-time video. So they're very handy. Um, like I said, when Araya had an extra hour for me to walk her through adding a LUT, her video improved twofold. Right now, this Logitech Brio is a bit grainy. I don't know if you can see that. That if you look out in the purple areas, it kind of flickers. Kind of, we could probably fix that with a LUT. I don't know why I'm getting the Desert Affinity ones though. Let's go with Portrait to make it more simple. We'll just do one. Oh, it wants to finish all the other ones that I started. Shame on me for not preparing more. Like I said, I have tons and tons and tons of them. They're free all over the internet. But if you want this, I can drop it into a Google Drive and share. Um, I'm talking about LUTs in the advanced because it does so much for your video. If we had another 2 hours, we could fire up the audio filters and bandpass filters, and I could show you what compression does for the audio. Right now, I'm just using my default compression in OS X to make my voice not sound like it's in a box. Again, that would be another 2 hours of advanced stuff, figuring out how filters work, how to route audio in your computer. Believe it or not, your news. Oh, can we get that one? Oh, we can't get that one. Why not? Your news broadcasts use much the same stuff. So, desktop and LUTs. And we'll pick that one. Whoa. That is a thing. Not sure it's my thing, but as you can see, it's applied a transformation to the video. Let's get rid of that. Try another one. We're going to go down to chroma key here in a minute too. Why doesn't it go back to the one that I was in? Let's select another at random. That worked out so well. Come on. Oh, definitely noir. I was sitting alone in my office, see, when a dame walked in. Um, so you can get some cool effects. This isn't exactly what I really wanted with regards to sharpening up the videos. So let's go in, remove that filter or that LUT. Yep. Go back up into filters. There's some basic embedded ones. Chroma key. Now this is going to be a bit tricky with applying and seeing an instant preview. Well, out of my camera there, you can see the haze. Okay, it went away. Uh, Chroma key is what they use when you have a green screen behind you. I've got purple, so I was going to hope that I could manipulate the magenta into using it. Um, some chroma key is applied automatically in things like Zoom and Meet. Um, it helps to have an external video capture device and an external processing device for it to be really smooth. One such critter that I use with the uh, camera that connects, the actual DSLR camera is a Elgato. It's a streaming device. One end, I need to move this so I can see that I'm showing you correctly. There. One end, it's got USB to connect to your computer and in and audio in. The other end just has regular audio out. All of the audio that you put into the audio in with the HDMI and video in goes into your computer as a separate device. Now, since I don't have the power cable for the camera, I can't actually show you how to add that to OBS, but it's much the same as adding another video capture device. So, yeah, add existing. Did it have my? No, it didn't have it. We'll go with create a new one. Wow. Okay. And it should, if it was plugged in, which I did have it plugged in, and working, it would show up as a camera. This allows, if you've ever watched Xbox streamers before they had the Xbox One X and the new Xbox, this allowed them to stream what they were playing through their computer. A very similar setup that I helped my son-in-law put together, so he could stream his gaming. Did it appear? It did not appear, probably because it doesn't have an active HDMI in there. Hey, Sarah. Oh yeah, what's my video effects here? On. Moving this out of the way. It was disconnected from Wi-Fi for some reason. Let's bring that back. Device, no. No, it was there, but it's not. That's okay. Oh wow, I've applied something here. We can make that go bye-bye. There we go. And I've got a wire. What is this mess here? Oh, I've got it tilted up too high, so it's catching the LED overhead lights. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. What we were messing with. Oh, we were messing with several different aspects of filters. Let's go back to that. Like I was saying, chroma key would allow you to do the green screen effect. Your body would hover while on the outside, whatever background that you inserted into the chroma key would appear. Kind of useful if you need it. I did it once when Apollonia was broadcasting a tutorial on painting. She wanted the background to be just bricks, so I used chroma key to that effect. Color correction, these are things that you can come in here and tinker with. I'll just do the basic rundown. Gamma is how much light you're allowing to be used. Contrast is how much distance between the black and the white, for all intents and purposes, the black and the white, how much you're spreading that distance. So they're ratios, as you can see, you got two white to one black. I want to take it back down to 0. They're even. If I wanted it darker, when I'm going to reduce the amount of white, I can do so. I'm pretty sure everybody's messed with brightness and contrast, but it never hurts to know. If I wanted it to be, look, I'm very yellow now. I've got jaundice. Not a good thing. Oh, that's obnoxious too. So you have all of these things that you can do to improve your video. Welcome through. Color key I've never messed with. HDR tone mapping. Everybody likes HDR. RGB. So now it is a bit sharper. At least I've got the frames per second. We've eliminated some of that rattle static that's in the back where that purple is. Go ahead and remove it. Scaling aspect ratios are useful. So right now I'm using not 4:3. My brain just forgot what that was. The 16:9. There we go. If I wanted to change it to 4:3 to fit old format TVs, I can do it. Wanted to play with these a little bit to try to get me so not squished. It's not doing all that much to it. But you can see the utility of it if you're trying to broadcast to a specific screen. For some reason, this won't broadcast in 4K, even though it is a 4K camera. I'm willing to bet it's the limitation on Zoom. So Zoom doesn't seem to think you need 4K. Kill that scaling aspect ratio. Audio and video filters, you can add compressors and gain and noise gates to OBS, but I found that using an external program to modify the audio before it goes into OBS is a bit easier to manage, because in order to tune it right, you have to have OBS open, you have to be have the virtual camera open. It's kind of a giant pain to do it through OBS, but it still can be done. I'm gonna stop right there and ask for questions about specific things. I know I couldn't do the top-down camera because my camera was being less than cooperative. Was there any questions? Was there specific things somebody wanted to know how to do?
I think I'm gonna ask for other like pinpoint videos later. Or
Or
just hold
what?
my hand while I do things. Pinpoint videos where you're covering just one area of these things.
Okay. Oh, expand upon each subject, like expand upon adding more cameras, expand upon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then and like I forget what it's called, but where like a live stream is 45 seconds later than what's actually going on.
right. Yeah, so that's inserting a delay.
Yeah,
and
the word.
they're kind of handy if you're worried about censoring, specific people. we did really care between two peers because we were just like, screw it, we're gonna throw this is an adult show label on it and go with it. And really getting a ride to go through a whole show without dropping the F bomb was impossible. So we never did bleep them out. But adding a delay and then I didn't really show this that closely.
And
But
if we
this is
turn up the gamma high enough,
mhm,
will we turn green and get
probably.
superpowers?
No, I don't think you get superpowers because I would have already done that.
Okay,
Flying would have been pretty cool.
that would have been.
Um, what was I saying about this thing?
Sorry.
Uh, no, no worries. This is the original is the Elgato Stream Deck, but this is a loop deck with more generic controls. It's still programmable. So when you're broadcasting and you wanted to transfer to another scene, I don't even know if I've got this set up for OBS. I have it set up for everyday use. It's got a calculator, volume adjustment. No, I do not have OBS set up on here. Can I add a mask? No. Mask shaving? No. Didn't do it. Can I launch a browser? Yes. Um, this allows you to take hours and hours of your life, pour it into programming each one of those screen touch buttons, and then having radial dials for adjusting volume. Oh, that's what I was getting at with the delay, and you wanted to beep something out. You could easily have one of these buttons that would insert a beat, just a tone, into the audio and bleep them out if you were trying to do something specifically for family friendly show.
What? We don't need to be family friendly. It's
I
really cool
tend
though.
to usually when I'm broadcasting either the painting that I'm doing or the repose that I'm doing, I just have the audio off because I always get in trouble with Facebook for having something going on in the background. It's like, oh, you're broadcasting copyrighted music. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm listening to it while I'm doing a thing. Well, I just usually turn the audio off because people aren't really interested in hearing me talk. They're wanting to see the process as I create. And I see a lot more of those guys that are building things that it has a soundtrack in the background, which can be annoying. So I just turn their volume off and watch them build things. So yeah, um, family friendly is okay. And it's what I would be using if I was broadcasting a making thing.
Yeah,
But for like between two peers, it was just all bets off. Um,
not surprised.
uh, was there any other questions? We're heading into the end of the hour. I'll sit here and answer questions forever. Rosie, you got anything you're wanting to know how to do?
I am acutely aware how little I know as I watch all of this.
That is an advantage, as Socrates would say. You know that you don't know it all, so therefore you know more than when you started. It is a lot. I agree. But like I said, start out simple. Install OBS, get your webcam ready, or your phone cam, or however you're doing it, and just begin with a video input capture, and then play around with the being able to resize it or reframe it. Get used to those kinds of things and the controls. Um, I would probably, if I was going to jump into audio, like this audio stuff here, I would have to do a whole nother video because there are audio engineers that make more than me, and I'm a cloud engineer. And there's a good reason why they make more than me because there's a lot to audio. There's a lot to video, of course, but most of the video is taken care of by the electronics in your camera. Whereas the audio in most of these systems is just out and in, microphone and headphones. So there requires a bit more software and a bit more engineering to really tweak up your audio. Um, if you listen to a podcast, Michael Rosenbaum, Inside of You podcast, you can hear how well their audio is massaged. And that's because the fella that helps produce it is an audio engineer first and then show producer later. So he has the audio for the voices perfect. Just absolutely perfect. There's zero noise, there's no pop, no hissing, and there's lots and lots of range in between the sounds of the voice. And were there any other questions? We got about 5 minutes left.
I don't have a question, but I would like to say thank you so much for this 2 hours. I now feel perfectly justified in paying someone else to do this
Okay.
and, just concentrating on making sure that my content is up to snuff and letting someone else deal with this part of it,
All right.
and, it's a great, jump off place, so thank you so very much for doing this.
Sure, I'm glad to do it. Content is always the toughest part. You can hire an engineer to set everything up for you, but if you don't have great content, then you're not going to have lots of return. That was always the challenge as being a webmaster, web minister for the SCA is like, okay, I've got all these things that do these nice things for people. Now send me your content because I can't make it all up. If I make it all up, it's going to have, dragons and fairies and probably a Mr. Magoo in there somewhere. But I need somebody to send me the content that I can publish. And the head chronicler for the SCA can tell you the same thing. Content is something that just doesn't come by often. You often have to make it. So, yeah, good luck with that. If you're doing the content and having somebody else do it, that'd probably be much easier for you. We would have probably 6 to 8 hours per week with between two peers of the things that we were going to go over, the commercials that we wanted to run for SCA merchants, the timing of who was going to ask which question and when, and sometimes someone sassy wanted to answer a question, and we would flip it around so where she was on the call sheet as answering that question. All of that takes a whole lot of time. So believe me when I say I understand the struggle with content. Okay, so I guess we could stop recording. We've captured the questions.